Every time you unlock your phone, a battle starts before you even touch the screen. Your eyes move first, then your brain. And somewhere behind that screen, a system built by some of the smartest people on Earth gets exactly what it wants from you. Your attention, not your money, not even your time. Your attention. Because attention is the thing everything else is built on. And the worst part is, you never really agreed to any of it. It feels like instinct, a pause, a glance, a click you do not fully remember choosing. That is what makes it dangerous. Because your brain notices patterns before your conscious mind does. Movement in the corner of your vision. A human face staring at you. A sharp color shift. A headline built to trigger curiosity before logic has time to show up. You think you stopped because you wanted to. A lot of the time, you stopped because your nervous system was interrupted. That is the real game. Not forcing you, catching you. Years ago, a man named James Vickery claimed he flashed hidden messages in a movie theater so quickly people never saw them, yet still bought more popcorn and Coca-Cola. The experiment was later exposed as fake, but the fear it created was real, because people instantly understood the deeper threat. The idea that influence could slip past awareness and still shape behavior. That is what felt wrong, not persuasion, violation. And even if that story was fraudulent, the principle underneath it never disappeared. Because influence does not always need permission to work. Sometimes it works best when you do not notice it working at all. Watch yourself scroll for a second. Not what you scroll, how you scroll. Fast, fast, pause. Fast again, then pause. Those pauses are not random. Certain things hit the brain like a brake pedal. A baby face, direct eye contact, sudden motion, a phrase that feels unfinished, a threat, a promise, a mystery. Platforms study those breaks, then build around them. That is why your feed does not just show information, it engineers interruption. And once a system learns what makes you pause, it learns where you are weakest. Then it starts showing up there on purpose. This gets darker when reward enters the picture. The refresh gesture on your phone feels small, harmless, just a habit. But the psychology behind it is powerful. You pull, you wait. Something new appears. Maybe interesting, maybe not, maybe rewarding, maybe empty. That unpredictability is the hook. Because unpredictable rewards are far more addictive than predictable ones. That is why people keep checking. Keep refreshing. Keep looking. Not because they are stupid, because the loop was built to be sticky. And once that loop is in your hand all day, advertisers do not have to fight for your attention. They just have to rent the moment your guard is down. There is a concept in advertising called emotional priming. It is simple. Change the feeling first, then deliver the message. Make you anxious, and you become more receptive to relief. Make you nostalgic, and familiar things feel safer. Make you excited, and impulse gets easier. So the product is often not the first thing being sold. The feeling is. The music, the lighting, the pacing, the tone. By the time the logo appears, the emotional work is already done. That is why some ads barely explain the product at all. And now this process is no longer broad. It is personal. Your phone knows more about your vulnerable moments than most people in your life do. It knows when you cannot sleep, when you slow down, when you search strange things at 2 in the morning, when your attention changes, when your patterns shift. That data matters because it can be translated into timing. And timing is everything. The old model of advertising was simple. Show the same message to millions of people and hope it lands. The new model is different. Find the exact moment a specific person is emotionally open, then appear. That is not just marketing. That is surveillance meeting psychology. And once you see it that way, a lot of modern life starts to look different. The goal was never just to make you buy one thing. The goal was to move into your mind early, to become familiar, trusted, automatic, So when the real decision comes later, the choice already feels made. You see it in stores, online, in creator content, in the way prices are framed, in the way recommendations are spoken like confessions. Even intimacy has been turned into a delivery system. That is why an influencer can sound like a friend and still function like an ad. The disclosure may be there, but the emotional effect lands first. And that first effect is what matters. You cannot escape all of this. That is the truth. The system is too embedded now, too constant, too optimized. But awareness still changes something important. Because the moment you notice the mechanism, the spell weakens. The moment you hear the music in a store and realize it is designed to slow you down, you wake up a little. The moment you catch yourself stopping on a thumbnail built to hijack your eyes, you wake up a little more. The moment you ask, "Why did I want this before I even understood it?" you create distance. And that distance matters, because the biggest shift is not deleting every app. It is seeing clearly, seeing when your emotions are being prepared, seeing when your instincts are being steered, seeing when your attention is being harvested like a resource. Once you see that, the screen starts to change. Not because it became less manipulative, because you became harder to move. And in a world built to predict your weakness, that might be one of the few real forms